Are we recording? We're recording. All right, so here's the deal. I decided one day to be a photographer. That's no good. And that day's today. I like it. Took a part-time gig to kind of keep things going. And it's tough fitting it all in. It really is. One of the things I'm going to do first is I'm going to work on stock photography, and that Swedish guy, there's a Swedish guy, I forget his name, I'm going to take his advice. And, you know, he says that stock photography will make you an excellent technical photographer, which I don't want to be. I like the more artistic stuff, but I got bills too, so there goes that. So what we'll do is we'll chase stock photography for a bit to kind of even things out and, you know, make sure the bills are paid. But what I'm finding out is for stock photography to work, you have to have probably about 10,000 images, which would equate to, if you're going to do that in a month, about 300 pictures a day. 300 hit pictures in one day. I don't know. That seems kind of hard. That's a lot of pictures to take in one day. So if you're taking 300 hits, you're taking like 1,000 pictures, and, you know, 300 or so of those will be hits. Bugs, hey bugs, get out of here. So that's what we'll do. We'll work on the stock. We'll pick up jobs that we can. There was some albatross out there that I really, really wanted to get, but I don't know. There's water down there too. So I don't know if I'm gonna get one of those birds. There were 3 of them just here, and I think I missed them. But here, no, wait a minute. What about this? That looks like a good shot. I don't have a dehaze, but let's see what we can get there. A lot of that. I don't have a haze filter. Haze, that's an H-A-Z-E. Excuse me for a second. Just talk quietly amongst yourselves. Alright. I don't like it, but to try and get 100 pictures a day, this will do. So we'll stop every once in a while and we'll get our, oh, excuse me. Ugh. We'll get a couple pictures here and there. Anyways, on to the next spot. Toasty in Arizona. What were we talking about? Talking about how hot is it right now? It's 107 degrees in Arizona. It is baking hot. My eyes are closed because it's so hot. Oh yeah. Drones. See that? And it's public enemy number 1 in Arizona. Oh, that's better. We were talking about where were we? Oh yeah, stock photography. Now, there's an angle that I'm going for with stock photography as well. It kind of goes the direction of well, it's dark. It kind of goes the direction of, that's too light. like a savings plan for photographers. It's how you kind of save a little bit, because it's an ongoing residual income, and I think that, you know, whatever you build up over the years will eventually turn into a decent income. But it's something you build up. That 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 pictures is something you build up over the course of a career, over the course of 20 years, and that kind of kicks in when you're done for the day and you punch out of the working life and call it a day. And one of the things I want to do differently with all that is using my drone for stock photography. I searched Shutterstock site. I searched who was it? Drone Stock and Video Blocks, and I found a bunch of very common pictures, top down, straight angle, boring missionary pictures that, good Lord, anybody can do. And I've been using my drone for street photography all along. I've always wanted to know, how can I get a better angle? How can I use this instrument to get a better angle? I've always viewed the drone as an alternative tool to work with. It's a ball peen hammer, you know. You got your regular hammers, and then you got your ball peen hammer that only really does what a ball peen hammer does, whatever that is. I don't know, but it's got that round weird. Never mind. So I want to kind of build up a better stock photography portfolio using that, and it in no way is going to be the number one filler of that bucket. It's probably going to be a closer number 4 or 5. Number 1 is just going to be a regular old. Number 2 is probably going to be the DSLR, and number 1 for the filler of my stock photography bucket is going to be my good old cell phone, doing hyperlapses and things like that of traffic and whatever people, which my Osmo Mobile 1 works great for. There's nothing wrong with that as a device too. It works fine. If people can use a 40-year-old phone, then you can use a 1-year-old Osmo. Feel me? All right. So, and we'll talk about the drone as a camera a little bit, because everybody is kind of doing the same thing with these drones. Is they're trying to get this epic keyword, tag word, drone footage that everybody's getting. Everybody's getting the same drone footage. But when in truth, if you were thinking of selling any type, oh crap. If you were thinking of selling any kind of imaging product, photography sells far more frequently, maybe for not as much, but far more frequently than video. If you make the perfect overhead footage of a forest that movie needs, that movie is going to buy that footage once. And once everybody sees that footage in that particular film community, it's probably not going to get used a whole lot. I would say one particular good selling piece of footage, if I had to guess, probably sells 5 times before it stops selling altogether. It either becomes outdated or unusable, or it's just something that, you know, is just not needed anymore, if I had to guess. And that's only from 2 years experience in the, you know what? We're going to have to cut this short, because I have all this film and I have to get this down to 10p camera now. And we're back. Okay, we're talking stock photography, and I want you to understand right away that I'm not some expert on photography. It's something I've done my whole life. I've never considered as a career until recently. I spent the last 1.5 years learning. So this series is really about learning what I'm learning with me, maybe you'll save yourself a bump or two. One of the things that I'm going to apply, there's a lot that I skipped over career-wise in photography. But one thing I came right back around to was stock photography. And we'll go over what I didn't do in another video, which is sometimes more important than what you should do. One thing that I decided to come right back around to was stock photography. It seemed to be a long-term option. I didn't know how it worked. I have a better idea now. I'm uploading videos. They're being accepted, which is yay! They did not want any of my artistic pictures whatsoever. But they do want what I call missionary pictures. They're just straight on, boxy 4x3 photos of boring things, but they sell. These are PowerPoint pictures. That's all you're really taking is PowerPoint pictures. And one added dimension to that, because there's a lot of photographers out there doing it. There's a lot of photographers that are making a great living at this. There's a lot of competition is what I'm saying. So keeping that in mind, I'm going to try and separate myself out from the competition by taking better drone photos. I'm not going to do any tips and tricks videos. Everything's going to be the vlog, any information, anything is all going to be in one video. But I will mark it out. This is a tip. When I'm flying my drone, I have learned to fly very slowly. I don't water down my controllers, because one day I may actually end up working with an unfamiliar drone, and I don't want to have such a specific setup that I can't work anybody else's drone. But I've learned to work very slowly and move the drone very slowly, and particularly Inspire 2 is very fast. So you have to be very careful of that. So here's the tip. Move slowly, bracket everything. And when you're doing stock, don't be afraid to use the auto mode. You're better off using the auto mode, changing the C2 button as your focus, because that's the worst part, is when you blow focus and you burn a battery. When you're done with batteries for the day, you're done. You got to recharge, and it takes forever. So to reiterate, tip number 1, fly slow. Tip number 2, bracket everything. 3 exposures should cover it. The Inspire does 3 and 5. 5 is a lot. 5 is a lot of raw files. It's a lot. And shoot JPEG and RAW. So fly slow, auto bracket everything, shoot JPEG and RAW, and do not be afraid of the Inspire 2. It is the best flying camera we have right now. And that's going to be tomorrow's video. Tomorrow's video, we're going to clear up the confusion between the Mavic, the Phantom, and the Inspire. We're going to cover that in some pretty good depth, because honestly I'm getting tired of hearing about it. They're all great drones. They will all take great pictures. The Mavic is so stable. I wish the Inspire was that stable. I could shoot at lower shutter speeds, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. Fly slow. We're going to add one to that too. Fly slow. Fly close. Bracket everything. JPEG and RAW. Those 4. Maybe more. But for now, that's where we'll leave it. Thanks for tuning in. I greatly appreciate your time. Come on back tomorrow. We'll have a new episode. Love you guys. Bye.